morning, guys. Hi, Jazzy. Sorry, she's been very excited to get to me because basically, okay, this angle is terrible, isn't it? So basically, I have been awake. Now I've got no head. Right, move away. Move away. Can't see. Oh, can't get camera work going. Anyway, there you go. You can see me. I hope. Can you see me? We've been awake since what time? What time did we wake up?
2:30.
2:30 in the morning. My fault. Me. Not this time, Sir William. Our cat, Willow. He has two names. I don't know why. I'm weird. Okay, just go with it. and even Jazzy was like chirping through her cover, which is very unusual for them to do. So it was like, oh wow, Jesus.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, sunshine.
Good morning. So no, it's 6:39 now, but basically, you know,
Your third coffee.
third coffee. I've got these bumps here. What is that? Okay, I'll get Sir to check them out. I've got bumps on my shoulder. Oh, I'm going through stuff, guys. I'm going through stuff. So anyway, I woke up. It's a medical thing. I'm not going to explain it because it kind of just is just too personal. But it's problems to do with like prolapsing and all this kind of thing. So I woke up like I do every morning for the last almost can count on my hand mornings where I'm in extreme pain. And I am sick of it. And this morning it was a big pain. So it can be different intensities depending on how much my body is playing up, but I've been up since pain. So basically I went to the toilet early hours of the morning like you do sometimes and couldn't get back to sleep because the pain was just so intense. So I had to do all these certain routines of like a medication little protocol thing that works, but it takes 2 hours at least to work. So it's been fun. Not. And so I've woken up Sir, and I've woken up this little Sir Junior as well. Like he's just over here. Look at, say hi. Say hi. So he's woken up and he's actually been good looking after me. And then we've had to put these guys in. Hi guys, how's it going? So they're here with us as well. So I think Sir's making me another coffee, but at the same time, what I need to do is take my morning meds. So what have I got? A vitamin. Oh, hang on. Why have you put a B in there?
Because B gives you back your vivid bounce.
Right. Why do I need to bounce right now? Do you...
Because we need to balance out your complex B's and things that you're missing.
Okay, but do you really want me buzzed with my ADHD with a third coffee in me?
You've been buzzed since the get-go. It's okay.
Is it really?
It is.
I think you're going to regret this. He's going to regret it. Sorry. Let me just fix myself up
I
there.
regret it already.
I think he's going to regret that.
Oh.
Should we vote on it? I think we should vote on it.
Who's voting?
Right, so this is my concoction in here. Look at that. It's a lot of shit.
It's your happy pills.
Like my bowl. I made it
Morning.
myself.
How you going? G'day.
There's the other. This is the person I woke up at 2 in the morning.
That's fine. We'll be doing lots of medication
That's
routines. Fine. Such fun.
We got there in the end. I mean, my body's got adrenaline just pumping at the moment.
No, it's pain response. You're in
yeah.
very, very high levels of pain for a long time, poor thing.
And when an autistic's in pain, guys, just always remember this. I don't know if it's, look, let me know if you're autistic and you have the same thing. And I know this from, we've got one son with autism and he's the same. I do the same thing. The higher the pain, the more quiet I go.
Yeah. Very good
doesn't
pain
help
pressure
the
on
people
myself.
around you to know that you're in a high pain, meaning let's get some stuff into you and let's get this resolved. So it's a very bad situation because we just go inside ourselves and it's not good. But that's just know that that's response. People need to know that because if you're autistic is suddenly very, very quiet, you need to be suspicious of something like pain.
Yep, but particularly when your pain is genetically based from your condition of 22q, 11.2, Deletion Syndrome. Sadly, about 90% of both
Oh, I can't have
participants
B until
with
I've had
22q
breakfast.
will have gastrointestinal problems.
I
Yep.
can't have B until I've had
That's
breakfast.
fine, that's okay. But
Because it hurts me.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
you've got to
does.
have it with food.
And coffee's not included as a breakfast group, is it?
No.
No. It's almost like liquid IV, really. Coffee. Think of it that way.
Today it is, isn't it?
Yeah, which is a shame because it doesn't help you in other areas of your symptomology. And we don't normally have it, but sometimes you need to manage pain in life and get through things. Go figure. Hey, are you trying to get us into focus? I don't think my eyes are going to focus this morning. I'm just saying.
Cheers to my third coffee. Shall we get some toothpicks?
No, I don't want those sunglasses, the eyeglasses,
Ah,
the crutches.
I told you that it's
They
a
do
true thing.
exist.
They do exist.
I'll just go down and sleep here.
I reckon.
Cat, don't mind me.
If I made it to elderly years, which slim chance for me, sorry, but if I did, I think I'll be like my Nana more, and I'm going to have like a droop thing that I'm going to have to get fixed. They normally do it like for you because if it covers your eyesight, of course, if it affects your eyesight, then they fix it. So that's probably going to be me because that was one of my nanas. So and I have the same eyes, I think, as that nana.
Which genetically is structured, and which is also to do with why you need to see an ophthalmologist with 22q, a genetic condition, because of that, and many other things that affect, and also having Ehlers Danlos that affects the eyes.
So basically, like that side, that's my father's side. That's my nana from my father's side. So my paternal side. That's how I describe it because I don't really have parents. They didn't want to be parents. They did to their new families, but not to ours. Yeah. So basically, I've got a maternal unit and I've got a parental unit. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, lucky you had some alternative people who weren't in family who were playing those supportive roles along the way occasionally too, which is
We have a large family. And luckily, I had a lot of wonderful experiences with them.
Cat.
Fur, isn't it?
The cat gets everywhere. How did
I
you
had
do
a cat
that?
fur thing in my drink. Yeah, so I had amazing family members. Like some of them just, and I think that neurodivergent thing. All of the ones that I really connected to are neurodivergent. As in, they don't know it, some of them, but I know it. So it runs strong on one side of my family. And but no, I had really good grandparents. That was what it was. I had really good grandparents that were very strong grounded, very strong in their marriages, strong in themselves. So I had good influence.
Did you know, I was also doing some research between the 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock, as you do.
You did some research.
As I'm trying to work on help you and obviously deal with the various types of pain that you're going through.
I like doing research too on TikTok.
It was interesting. I was actually looking at Australian research and also with Health Direct, which is the Australian government health website, which is even more interesting. Why has
that become like that, Health Direct? It never used to be, did it?
But it's actually, they actually stated themselves, and it was so under-discussed for female health. And in fact, for females your age, 50% of females your age will have many of these similar sort of gastrointestinal but gynecological related issues. But 20% of them will then go on to have surgery at the age 50 to 60 where you're in between.
I don't want surgery.
But surgery is actually very useful.
I don't even have pee yourself thing.
No, but
I don't know why.
But you don't have to have that.
It's a bit like the grey hair. I don't have much.
You don't have to have that component, but with connective tissue, and obviously from rectocils and enterocils and all the other sort of prolapses and hernias and things that occur,
I've got 3
they can be
stomach
surgically
hernias.
corrected. You know what I mean? So that's actually with very good results, but it's not talked about. I guess that's the crux of what I'm saying.
No, women's
for
health
female
is
health
disgusting.
in Australia,
you should be
the Australian
ashamed of
government website is
yourself.
highlighting the fact that it's
Australian
not
Health
talked about
Department,
enough.
you need to get your shit together with women's health. You need to have women's health clinics, and they need to be available for everything women.
But here's the kicker, though.
Not just pap smears, for goodness
No,
sake.
but here's the kicker with the research.
Fuck's sake.
You're a glass of my eyes. So
sorry.
with it, remembering because it's all pelvic, and in this whole pelvic space, you've got urological, gynecological, and then you've got gastroenterological because it's all in the pelvic related area. So you've got the 3 different urologies basically. But there's better results if you're going through gynecological than compared to going through gastroenterological. And in fact, the surgery for the same condition, if you go through the front end through gynecological, you actually get better outcomes and better results rather than going through the back way to get the same thing. So it does actually matter what specialist that you see.
Anything that fixes it, thank you.
Which is actually very interesting. So maybe there is something to do with that with the misogyny
department.
that because it's gynecological, they're more accepting, more understanding, and make more effort.
Yeah, in America they do better with that, don't they, guys? You guys go to gynecologists all the time for things. Here in Australia, guys, they only let us go to one when you have a problem, like, you know, an unusual problem. It's just bullshit. We don't get normal women's health. We don't get access to a gynecologist hardly ever in our life. I went through menopause. I am like finished. I'm nearly 2 years now without a period.
Oh, you're over it.
I'm done.
Sorry.
Totally over it. Which is good because it was really tough. Perimenopause is just no joke.
But I don't think there's enough conversation on this topic.
Well, I'm just saying, I wasn't guided through it. No, one fucking doctor, and there's a clinic in Perth, but I never got told, oh, you can go to this clinic. And now, I didn't want HRT, I did naturally anyway, because I'm very much a natural person. So if I don't have to take a tablet, I don't take it. But basically, I had no help. I did it all on my own, and every symptom they did not take seriously and help me with, it's fucking bullshit.
But I'm also wondering that because you went one pathway, more the gastroenterology, rather than getting access to gynecological, that there would have been different outcomes. Now, based on the research on the Australian stuff, which is
a
highlighting
gynecologist.
That. So, ladies out there, do talk to your gynecologist rather than just your gastroenterologist when you might be having any of this sort of related pelvic floor, organ prolapse, or POPs, as they call us.
Exactly. Talk to both,
because they do affect all areas.
Yeah.
Quite significantly, to be honest. And it's also important to have conversations in your partnership. So a lot of males don't get involved in the conversations. If a male had this problem, I'll tell you what, they'd be screaming and shouting and saying, fix the bloody thing. Because I couldn't go to work because of the pain, or I couldn't go because I can't wee or whatever else. But with the female, it's like, oh no, that's okay, we'll accept it. No, it's not. That comes back to this whole misogynistic.
We've got to be tough, right? It's not right. Yeah, exactly. It's just wrong. And you know what? Women need to be respected, and this is why, and I know that not everyone's religious, but I am, and I believe that a woman is to be always honoured for the fact that she produces life. She delivers children to the world, and
well, you're going through the body transformation. Your body's affected by being that carrier.
You know, and that needs to be...
Of an alien species.
Yeah, that needs to be repaid by the government. You owe us that. You owe us, like, women's access to women's health because we've had children. We've given you taxpayers. So, for example, Health Department, I've given you 2 taxpayers. Thank you very much. So how about you help my body of all of the cycles it goes through as a woman to be a woman? Absolutely. So women, you know, give yourself more credit for motherhood than what you are. It is a full-time job. And if it's not a full-time job, it's not being done properly because it is a full-time job.
But I don't think there's been enough change to acknowledge, accept it, and support it.
Well, America's better with your mums, aren't you?
We've had decades of feminine
but
movements.
in Australia, it's
what
it's
does
bad,
result
guys.
in at the end of the day? From the
It's
workplace, I mean, female products are still highly expensive as a commoditized. I mean, they're not supported or reduced. So that's an access-related issue.
That's rubbish. There is actually an organisation doing that where you can donate to them, which they give it out for free.
So that's a big deal. And
but
cost of living crisis is hard, isn't it?
Exactly.
When you think about those things.
That would be tough.
You know,
yeah.
Then when females lose their career paths as well because of that, that's difficult. I mean, is that supported enough as well? But then your body, that's the key feature here.
Well, the fact is, the reason they should care about it is because if it wasn't for women, they wouldn't have a workforce.
Oh, that's right.
We are the people that give you these people, government.
Now, throw into the mix here, you've got a rare genetic condition.
That's how it kind of happens too.
Yeah, absolutely. But this whole genetic condition exacerbates the situation.
I'm going to hell.
And that's what's really important to know is for people who've got genetic disorders, there's no predisposition of issues which the medical fraternity aren't aware enough because they're so rare or so complex.
They're a bit stupid.
If you look at that bell curve, the normalised distribution of what the population is, they're not expecting people with such complex anatomical issues.
They need to start looking for it in Australia because you're getting stupid. Because when we look at America and we look at the research guys, it's just embarrassing. Okay, when you have something like what I've got, which is a disability that actively makes me sick, compared to some disabilities are just
acute,
they just cruise along, right? With mine, it's degenerative. It's it makes me sick. So it's not just the fact that I need access through disability, like if so long as I have my equipment, I can function, kind of thing. That's not just my problem.
No.
I've got actively sick problems going on. So it might be my neurology, as you guys have seen. It could be my gastroenterology. It could be my immunology. Anyway, so basically, the fact is, what was the point?
What was the fact? I love when you lose your track a little bit with ADHD. And she's lost it. He'll come back to you one day.
But yeah, basically all areas need to be covered, and that's hard to even get covered. Oh, that's right. When you're a person like me that has this, that's when you see the cracks of the system.
Absolutely.
That's when and the recent experience we had at hospital proved that to me. The stupidity was embarrassing. The doctor was shaking because I had to correct him on medical facts. Okay, and the dude was shaking. It was embarrassing, Australia. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know where you get your doctors from. I don't know what you're doing at their university before you put them in that scenario. I do feel sorry for him, but second, I kind of don't. Because he shouldn't be doing what he was doing. And it was out of line to get medical facts wrong. That's dangerous. Misleading.
So here's a simple one.
And he's shaking because he knows he's a dickhead.
Yeah, here's a simple one if you're not aware of it yourself. And here's a bit of education for you. Remember, we're not medical professionals, but the literature supports all of this information. For seizures, one of the facts that this particular young intern was saying that you cannot have a seizure unless you've had a urinary continence issue. You've wet yourself, basically. Well, actually, no. 39% of patients who have seizures and epilepsies may wet themselves. That's only 39%. Which means 61%
and I have
of them
once before.
will not, have never, won't ever have urinary continence or wet themselves during
my first seizure, I did wet myself.
Yeah.
But no, I agree exactly. And that's what I said to him. I said, no, that's a myth. Not all of us
it's
do.
A myth. Yes.
So maybe speak to the ambulance officer who actually was around, and actually I wasn't even having a tonic-clonic. I was having...
you were having myoclonus seizures.
That's the one.
And you're having also, with your facial side of things, segmental cranial dystonia.
Yeah, which is what I've been getting lately. So basically that's a regular thing anyway. So it's just embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. And he felt then uncomfortable because I'm correcting him, and it's like, this is bullshit, Australia. Why do I have to educate your doctors when I'm the patient? I'm there and I expect them to teach me something.
Yeah. But here's the other kicker. When you do have rare and complex conditions, and it's actually acknowledged...
If you don't understand it, just fucking admit it.
The other issue that comes with this is they also don't want to touch you. because it's rare and complex or complicated, it gives them that sense of risk, and they don't want to touch you because of that complication, because they don't know what may go wrong or how to manage that situation. So patients who do present with complex conditions sometimes still don't get the treatment that they actually need, or in this case, we're doing, for example, surgery, which would be the normal go-to for the normal population, but for her, it can cause other complications because of the complexities of the symptoms. Ludicrous, I know, but that's the realities of the situation.
Complex.
But
the fact is, just like my disability lawyer said to me, you know, like, it doesn't matter, because the fact is, I didn't choose to be complex. No. When you have a rare syndrome, you didn't choose it.
No.
So the medical system, just always advocate for yourself. Absolutely. Or get an advocate, because you deserve medical care. It is not your fault for having a complex syndrome, like a genetic syndrome. It is not your fault. Yep. And it's not your fault that they don't learn about it, know about it, but they act like they do.
But
that's not your fault.
Here's an interesting other fact.
You deserve the same medical care that someone that broke their arm or whatever else. They're just being lazy and they're stupid and they refuse to learn.
For 25 years, Dyan and myself were independent as far as supporting ourselves, or I was supporting
We weren't
Dyan
on the system.
We
weren't on the system.
Dyan was an at-home
Not
mum.
even for our kids, we didn't get support from the government.
I had very good jobs and careers and whatever else, and
Not me.
had my own businesses, etc. But in those 25 years, what we also noticed, a bit like tonight, many occasions where I might only get 2 or 3 or 4 hours
sleep. You still had to go to work.
And here it is at 6:59 right now, and it's like, oh, well, normally I'd be shaving, showering, and on the freeway, off to work.
We'd be having a coffee, and then he'd be off to work.
With maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep under my belt. And look, I know a lot of mums, a lot of parents, a lot of dads go through situations looking after their children.
But you went through more than that, because when you're an ED till 2 a.m. and you know, you come home and then you're sort of still awake, you might get an hour or 2. It's not enough sleep. It's on 2 hours, even 4 hours is not enough sleep to drive to work. So the point in this is more about the informal supports and recognition of those carers who might be the partner or might be the family members, but then they still have to have the expectations of functioning and going to work. What is the system doing to support them through that? You get your 10 days of sick leave in a year, then you've also carers days. I think it's 5 days. But I think it's changed now.
Yeah,
but this back then it was 5 days.
We didn't have carers leave back in the old days. You had 10 days of sick leave. That was it. Used up, bad luck, done, out the way, and done with. And of course, if you're using sick leave in the workplace, a lot of time they frown on that even, because it's like, well, no, that affects your reliability in the job and loses your opportunity for career advancement.
Well, especially because you were high management. When you're high up in management, of course, they don't want you ever to have a sick day. You know what it's like when it's responsibilities are higher, right? And that's sadly what he had to stay in, didn't you? Really, because we needed the six-figure income for us to survive.
So when you're then
raise
working
2 kids,
60
look after a disabled person,
70 hours a week, which is what high jobs have to actually entail, unfortunately. It actually takes away from your ability to be also the care and support.
Well, it was a long day. I mean, you were gone 12 hours a day. For 20 years plus. Okay. And that's how we had to do it. And I had to basically get everything done and then crash and burn. And try and this is one thing that I regret doing is hiding it from my children. So don't do that. I don't recommend that. Be honest and explain it. So I used to hide it, but I would get the washing done and I'd get the housework done and I would get the cooking done.
That's masking, which you've learned to
hide.
Maybe. Well, I feel anyway.
Yeah, I do. I think it extended into the health as well.
But you've also had parents that never recognised, accepted
sickness. If you're sick, go to school.
So you've learned, well, geez, if I don't get up and get going, I'm
if you're not throwing up, I remember the way it was for me. If I stayed home from school because I felt sick, which did happen a lot to me because I have gastroparesis
and an immune system that stuff.
And basically, I remember, if you don't throw up, then I'll be really angry at you, and you're going to be punished for that, because it wasn't believed unless I physically threw up, basically. And so that's how brutal it was. And so I went to school sick a lot. And it wasn't fun when you're a selective mute who cannot communicate how you feel
100%.
and you're trapped inside because you're autistic
Yep.
and you don't know how to manage it and you feel like crap.
No.
I have passed out as young as
absolutely.
9 years old at primary school. I have been in the sick room more times than I can count on the bed having a nap.
And no surprise, because with 22q, you're born with it. And in fact, there's a higher expectation of GI-related issues. So
that
GERD,
started at 9.
nausea, the whole throwing up,
I could throw up.
dismotility,
My
constipation.
but my mum would tell me off and blame me for throwing up by saying you've gutsed yourself.
No.
That's a term for, you've had too much to eat, right?
Yep.
But I didn't.
No.
I didn't. It was my body for gastroparesis. If you ever get a full stomach, compared to others, we feel very sick or we actually do throw up.
Now, hopefully, about 80% of children who are born with 22q who have these very acute symptoms all the way along.
It's very common to have these things.
80% of them will grow out
You're
of
born
that
with them.
into adulthood, but unfortunately, 20% don't, and it carries forward. But then with adulthood, you have more complications with GI tract that then come into play elsewhere. So you don't really ever get a break with it.
No.
With having 22q, unfortunately. So you've had it as a child, as a teenager, as an adolescent, as a young adult, and as an...
I've experienced every phase, and I know everything that it's broken, that it's affected, that it's caused symptoms in, that it's done, and it's just, it is really tough. And I remember, like I said, at school, being at the sick bay a lot.
Did you know, and you may not know with the research, a lot of patients with 22q, the genetic condition, are actually diagnosed with first presentations through gastroenterology, and they're actually told to look out for those symptoms of GERD, reflux, dismotility, constipation, urinary incontinence. Those things are precursors.
But why then? Then listen to this. I was born prematurely, number one.
Bingo.
I was, for 6 months apparently, I wasn't feeding well, colic.
Yep, colic, no latch on.
Right? Then I had, from as young as 8 or 9 years old, constipation, and I was going to the doctors. I think I even ended up at hospital to PMH for it.
Yep.
I had a lot of problems with my bowel, starting really severe, to the point where, I had to have a lot of licorice. That was kind of... But basically, it was really bad. Really bad. And my mum was, trying everything under the sun, and it took a lot. And in those days, we didn't have what you have now.
Well, let me answer your question. The research I was reading, which is one of the latest ones from July of last year, 2023. But the reason why they didn't pick it up, and this is the reality, and this is this overestimation of the abilities or capabilities of medical. The research from last year, July 2023, in the gastroenterological field for 22q, basically simply states is, it is so under-researched still to date, that they need to do far more extensive research to understand the whole life cycle of patients with chromosomal disorders, particularly 22q in this case, because they don't know. They're throwing stuff to try and work out, how's it working? Why is this happening?
And we're all dying in our middle age, and they're not looking into it.
Yeah. Sad, isn't it?
It's not right.
So even in this current year, we're in 2024, let's be realistic that they know only about this little much about the human body,
but
and
the
particularly
problem
when it comes
is,
to 22q, and there's so much more
rare
to research
syndromes, this is a known thing, not just for 22q. Rare syndromes in general, you have to fight for everything.
You do.
And if you're a child, it's easier because you've got the parents to support that. But when you're an adult, it's harder. You have to really fight for it, and it is harder. And it's disgusting that it's like that, because every human being deserves adequate healthcare. Where they're meant to, if you look at their oath,
Hippocratic oath.
The Hippocratic oath is pretty fucking clear, and they don't honour it at all. And as a taxpayer, that's, to me, that's pretty fucking disgusting, and that to me is criminal. It's criminal because you are receiving money for not doing a job. I know when I was in jobs, if I turned up and didn't actually succeed at the job, this is your task, you must achieve this. And I don't do the task. Like someone comes in, I don't know, wax their eyebrows and you don't wax their eyebrows. Job's not complete, but you charge them the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I see the hospital at times. It's like when I go in and out and they don't give me the resolution and I've got to point the resolution out and they go, oh, yeah, or you've had to, and you go, here's the resolution. They go, oh, yeah, okay, let's try that then. And then it gets fixed or whatever. And you just go, why the fuck are you getting paid?
Because it's also the mainstream. Here's a little one we'll finish off with and just wrap up with, but here's a simple point.
Yeah.
For example, with gastroenterology, and we're talking about this very particular Dyan's condition overnight.
That's why I've been awake in pain.
Now, she's got some major procedures, tests coming up. A endoscopy, a tube going with a camera going from the top down, and a colonoscopy, a tube from the bottom end coming up to have a look at things. But here's the thing I want to point out, which is quite sensible if you want to think about it. You have to actually clear yourself out, which means you've got to flush your system out, take all these enemas and colon lightning and whatever else to clear your colon out to enable them to do this test.
I know,
which means
Jazzy.
You're not compacted, you're not impacted, you don't have constipation, you're totally free of all that. Now, I'm being quite simple and straightforward
they
to the
need
point.
to do that for my polyps.
Sure.
I always have polyps.
So that's to enable the camera.
It's annoying.
But if you're going to go, oh, well, look, you've had a colonoscopy, you've had an endoscopy, and I can't see anything wrong. Of course not, because you're not seeing...
No, they do see things wrong, though, normally.
No,
they see
sorry.
inflammation.
Let me clarify. They'll see all the things that we expect to see with an empty bowel. Inflammation, because it's sensitive to touch. They'll see polyps, they'll see the discoloration,
they'll
see ulceritis, they'll see hernias, they'll see all those things.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a condition of constipation and impaction and flexible movement and hernias and
I get like
rectocils.
Partial blockages, guys,
can't
basically.
see those
and
in
it's
a colonoscopy
terrible.
because you removed the obstacles that actually caused the protrusion.
I know.
So it's not the right imaging or not the right test. So be careful what tests that you actually do ask for, or don't assume that because you've had a test that it covers all bases.
Yeah, see, I've got a gastroenterologist now that, like, he gets it. You know, you have a chat and he's so experienced. I'm very lucky because I think he's quite a good quality doctor. Not because in public you don't get the choice, right? But he is a good quality doctor. He has private practice as well. And I know that he knows his stuff because I know it. As in, the things that he backs me up on and the things that he even says is true because I'm experiencing it in my body. So this person I trust with their knowledge, that's how I trust him because I know that he knows it when he says what he says, and then when I say what I say, he goes, he then goes further into why that's going on. So, you know, I guess I'm lucky with that, but the problem is with this system, I go in for this colonoscopy, endoscopy. It doesn't mean it's him.
No.
So I don't really want to get it done yet.
Yeah, I get you. But it also points out that there's other tests that actually do need to be done.
But I do have to get it done because of my polyps. That one's important just to get rid of the polyps because polyps can turn into cancerous things.
Yes,
so you do need to get rid of them, and I've had to do this many times, guys, every 5 years. So it's got to get done.
It's a fun conversation, isn't it, everybody? But this is
reality.
But
more than that is needed. I need an operation.
Yeah.
But the fact is, like what we're saying, you know, women's health, if they were taking it seriously, I would be offered this operation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to say, oh, you know, have you ever thought about giving me this operation to fix this so I don't have to keep going through it all the time? But no, I have to actually pretty much beg. So, not fair when you've got a syndrome with all of these types of things. It's like, it's not my fault that there's a lot of things breaking.
No.
When you're missing... How many genes?
Anywhere between 40 to 60 genes.
Okay, what do you expect, doctors?
Missing part of a chromosome,
Like, you're a bit stupid. So, guys, don't give them the God status. Don't give them the hero-ness. I'm sorry. There are some doctors, though, that are heroes. I do agree with that. But just please don't give this automatic, you're a hero because you're a doctor. Don't just give it automatically. They have to earn it, including nurses. Nurses have to earn that as well because there's some bad nurses and there's some good nurses. So same thing. They have to prove to you that they know their stuff, take it seriously, and are patient-centered. Not kind of, I don't know, just clocking in, clocking out, don't really give a shit.
And remember the outliers. At the end of the day, the normalised population, things are a lot easier to deal with. But when you have got complex,
when you got rare, not our fault,
genetic conditions, it makes things a heck of a lot harder. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed our morning, coffee.
And
coffee for you.
Anyway, I want to send thoughts out to others who experience the same as me. I have a allergy to opioids, so I cannot take strong painkillers. So, but in general, I just want to shout out to anyone else that is suffering pain on a regular basis. Yeah. I just want to tell you, I hear you, I feel you, and I'm sending some empathy because
and the partners
I'm going
and the
through
families
it.
supporting and caring with them and going through those sleepless nights hand in hand just to make sure that they get through it. We'll get some sleep some stage.
I feel so much guilt now.
No, don't. We're used to it.
But when you say that, it's like, it's true. Like, you carers out there that do this with us, you are, like, important to us. You're valuable, and it really does make our experience 10,000% difference to what it would be like alone. And sadly, not enough of that goes on, which is a disgusting turn of society. That's my opinion. I think society values money more than people, and that includes family just don't support the sick person in the family anymore. They just don't do that. They worship money and stuff like that. So, yeah, shout out to carers who do sit with us through this, because that is a sacrifice that they make for us as well.
It's a journey for all of us. Guys, give us a big thumbs up of support and encouragement.
Love to you all.
Comments, questions, your own feedback below. Love to hear from you, of course. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Before we go, I just want to say to Ella, the pink thing.
The hand.
The pink, what do you call the thing she's...
Brace.
She's got a brace.
Oh, she's done her hand,
and it's pink.
Good choice
just
in colours
saying,
of your...
great choice of colour. I'm sorry, but like it just makes it so much better.
Cast, yes, her hand.
But I'm sorry about your hand though.
6 weeks in the cast, you poor thing.
That's not a good thing. So sending love for that. That's just, I really hope that that's a fast recovery, because obviously, you know, that's worse than a break basically. And so I wish a speedy recovery. But pink is cool.
Indeed. And
the pink is cool.
She's hypermobile. Isn't that funny?
Twins.
Twinsies. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye for now.